The police must follow procedure when they're obtaining evidence.
We talked about downloading all the contents of the phone and communications to set the tone.
You're a law enforcement agency. You have subpoena powers. You must follow the law. The law says...
Glorious. Is it a lawsuit? Probably. Why not?
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up. It's the Law with Attorney Larry Forman. Folks, today we are going to continue with the Brian Walsh hearing. We got Sergeant Schmidt now on cross-examination. For those of you who may have missed the last video, by God, go check it out. The first two videos was the prosecution direct examination. The last one, this one, and the next one are going to be a combination of cross-examination and maybe a little bit of redirect. But Sergeant Schmidt is acting a little fishy on the stand. And we need to dive in and figure out, why is he acting this way? Why is he behaving in this particular way? What has he done wrong? What is he trying to hide? Why didn't they simply admit that the plastic sheet was in the garbage can and we didn't see any need to investigate it, we didn't take it into evidence, and we didn't charge Mr. Walsh with destruction of evidence for that reason? There's a lot of very weird things happening here, and I hope to uncover them, and continue to uncover them, I should say, in this video. So folks, without further ado, let's continue the next to last part of the Brian Walsh hearing ahead of his jury trial in about a couple of weeks in Massachusetts. Let's go.
So when you learned that he was represented by counsel, Sergeant, did you pause and consider reaching out to his counsel instead of continuing to ask him questions?
At what point in time?
On January 4th, when you said you first learned about him being represented by Tracy Mine.
That's a good question.
No.
No. Again, remember, I see what the defense lawyer is trying to do. By the way, don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel. But the problem is, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't exactly work that way. The biggest problem, like I said in the previous video, and I'm going to remind you here, you have to state affirmatively. The United States Supreme Court has said your request for a lawyer must be unequivocal. Simply saying, hey, I have a lawyer, fantastic. Anyway, I have questions for you. Answer these questions. You know what? Chances are they're probably going to be in the right, and Miranda is not going to apply. But the minute you say, I will not speak without my lawyer here, I don't want to answer any more questions without my lawyer present, I want my lawyer here before we continue this conversation, I will refuse to answer any questions until something along those lines, then you must, as the law enforcement agent, stop questioning. Anything you say after that will be inadmissible 100% of the time. I'm sure there's some exceptions I can't think of right now, but essentially that's the rule. So it's a cute question. I like the question, but you can tell how Schmidt kind of hesitated, because he's like, I don't know, was I supposed to? Like, I don't know. He just said, I have a lawyer. Just because he said I have a lawyer doesn't mean squat.
But on January 5th, when he told you his only request would be because Tracy Miner called me today about what's going on, you asked him, who is that?
Correct.
And that was on January 5th.
Correct.
But you knew.
Even though you asked Mr. Walsh on January 5th, who is that, when he used the name Tracy Miner, you're telling us today that you learned about Tracy Miner representing Mr. Walsh on January 4th.
No.
What?
If I may explain.
Go ahead.
Mr. Walsh related that he had an attorney on the 4th. However, she was not named. I learned about the name on the 5th during that second interview.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's important. That's crucial. I'll let you slide on this one, Schmidt. If that's the case, I have a lawyer. Okay, fantastic. Good for you. Anyway, moving on. And then the next day, it's like, oh, but my lawyer's name is Tracy Miner. Oh, okay. All right.
He's represented by counsel on the 4th, is what your testimony is here today, then.
Yes.
Is that
weird? Very weird.
Is that exchange, when you learned about Mr. Walsh being represented by counsel on January 4th, is that contained in the January 4th interview?
I don't recall.
It seems to me like they're trying to skirt the rule. Why would you try to skirt the rule of, if a party is represented, you must terminate all questioning? Oh, because you want them to continue answering your questions despite the fact that they may be represented. Yeah, see, never talk to the police.
Were there conversations other than with Patrol Officer Lawrence with Mr. Walsh on January 4th that contain statements that don't appear in the interview transcript or in any of the reports?
Yes.
And have you ever been asked to reduce to writing statements of Mr. Walsh that otherwise don't appear in your reports or Lawrence's reports or in the January 4th transcript of your conversations with him?
No.
What other statements can you tell this court about that Mr. Walsh made to you on January 4th that did not find their way into any report or into any transcript?
There's conversations about the house and rental property when we did the walkthroughs of the premises.
All right. Anything else that you recall?
Not at the moment.
All right. It's fair to say then that your memory of any other statements that do not appear in reports or in the transcript, those were not statements that included Mr. Walsh saying, you know, you can look at the entire contents of my phone, you can look at anything you want, or words to that effect, correct?
Correct.
By the way, Sergeant Schmidt, did you ever have any conversations with a district attorney named Lynn Beelan about this?
I don't recall any.
Do you know who Assistant District Attorney Lynn Beelan was or is?
Yes.
Had you interacted with her in other Norfolk County cases?
No.
So your conversations with Assistant District Attorney Beelan would be limited to this particular case or this investigation?
I don't recall any communications with her.
Okay, how about conversations?
Related to this case, no.
So I guess it's fair to say then that you never had any conversations with Assistant District Attorney Lynn Beelan regarding any agreement to search any devices, correct?
Correct.
Now, Mr. Walsh made it very clear to you during this question and answer during the interview on January 5th that he wanted to talk and needed to talk to his attorney, Tracy Myers, correct?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
And he made it very clear that he had to talk to his attorney, Tracy Minor, before he agreed to anything about turning over his phone, correct?
Correct.
And once again, that discussion, when I just limited it to his phone, his iPhone, this discussion about talking to Tracy Minor didn't include any reference to searching any iPad or iPads or MacBooks, correct?
Not that he discussed with me.
See how we keep coming back to this point? Maybe that's the nature of the motion. I would be willing to bet. The nature of the motion, in case you're wondering, is that there was never any consent given, oral or written, to search like the search history and all of that. It was just to download the data at most. And even if it was granted, I would even go so far as to say even that was not granted because you have to have proof of this. But if in the interview they have a recording of him saying, yes, you can search for it, and they probably do. Oh, excuse me, not search for it. You have a right to download it. See, I did it myself. You have the right to download it, but you don't have a right to search through it, which is a very unique and interesting defense because why on earth would you just download it and not search through it? But hey, if that's all you got, then that's all you got. As a defense attorney, you got to take what you can get. That's why I like being a prosecutor. Cue the commercial.
I'll return to the subject matter, but what I want to ask you, Sergeant Schmidt, is this. When you were there present with Trooper DeChico and you're interviewing Mr. Walsh on January 5th, and now you've already interviewed him earlier in the day before in the evening, as a police officer with training and experience, you would in fact be interested in looking at communications between Mr. Walsh and the missing spouse, correct?
Yes.
And it's fair to say, isn't it, that you'd also be interested in seeing, if you could, any communications that Mr. Walsh attempted to have with Anna Walsh after January 1st, correct?
Yes.
And you would be interested in looking for any communications of Anna Walsh attempting to contact her husband, Mr. Walsh, after January 1st, wouldn't you?
Yes.
And you would be interested, wouldn't you, in looking at communications that Mr. Walsh made to anyone after January 1st regarding the whereabouts of his wife, correct?
Can you just describe that one more time? I'm sorry.
You would be interested in looking at communication of Mr. Walsh trying to talk to others and inquire about the whereabouts of his wife, Anna Walsh.
Yes.
Definitely.
And in fact, Mr. Walsh told you, didn't he, that he had first reached out to Anna Walsh and tried to text her when his phone was found, correct?
Correct.
Now, when you were asked questions on direct examination about this phone, his phone being lost, you are aware of the fact, aren't you, that the phone was found by one of his young children, correct?
Correct.
And in fact, it was found after this nanny, I think you referred to her as Robin,
Robin.
after she had searched trash barrels and things looking for that phone, correct?
Yes.
And one of the reasons they were looking in trash barrels is because that had happened before, correct?
Correct.
The kids, or one or more of Mr. Walsh's children, had taken his phone or Anna's phone and put it in a trash can and hid it, correct?
Correct.
So getting back to your experience as a police officer and an investigator, it's fair to say, isn't it, that there would be interest in looking at communications from Mr. Walsh, not just on December 31st of 2022 and January 1st of 2023, but communications that went and extended past the 1st, possibly the 2nd, correct?
Yes.
Now, returning now to the specifics of the January 5th interview, one of the things that Mr. Walsh told you when you were asking about downloading the contents of his phone was, aside from there was an enormous amount of information and things like that, he said that he needed to talk to Tracy Minor, his attorney, to see if she might say, can we just do the information that you're asking for, correct?
Yes.
Oh.
And up to this point, when that statement was made by Mr. Walsh, the only...
Sorry to interrupt this. I cannot wait to hear what comes next. But let me tell you, folks, this could be a game changer. This could be a game changer. I'm going to hold my opinion until I hear the rest of this. And I'll tell you why after.
The only subject matter that had been discussed with him, either through you or Trooper DeChico, was communications, correct?
We talked about downloading all the contents of the phone and communications to set the tone.
Right, but I understand that.
Basically, they went outside their scope. They went outside the scope of the permissibility by Brian Walsh. They found really incriminating stuff in the browser search history, which Brian was not expecting that they were going to get their dirty hands on. And look, the guy probably did it, okay? We're all in agreement here. There is no like, oh my God, maybe he is innocent. Like, I don't think he is, okay? Just my opinion. Just saying. You may have a different opinion. You're more than welcome to it. I'm not going to judge you either way. But in all honesty, if you really think about it, and this is going to the heart of the issue. This is a legal issue, not a factual issue. This is why it's very important to kind of separate the two. Doesn't matter if he did it or not. The police must follow procedure when they're obtaining evidence. And the key here is, and now I'm starting to see why Schmidt is so defensive about all this, is because it seems like Brian indicated, like, maybe I should talk to my lawyer about this, but you're telling me you're only downloading communications to set the tone of what the tone was between you and Anna and maybe others that you've talked to. Oh, and by the way, you know what? We're going to search everything else you've got just to be on the safe side. They went outside the scope of the permissibility of their search, outside the scope of the permissibility of their search parameters, okay? And once you go outside the scope of your search parameters that you are permitted to search through, you are now violating Brian Walsh's constitutional rights. That's essentially what it is, okay? Fourth Amendment, search and seizure. That's what it is. You gotta have a signed consent form. We've already established in previous hearings that they don't have that. You gotta have his consent to, like, you wanna go through everything? Yes, you are allowed to. You may go ahead and search through everything. They don't have that either, and they might be in a pickle. We're now starting to finally see how disastrous of a job Cohasset PD, Canton PD, Massachusetts State Police. Why? Why can nobody do their frickin' job properly in Massachusetts? Unbelievable.
But once again, just going back to some earlier direct and cross-examination, when the comment was made, yes, we want to download the entire contents of the phone, either you or Trooper DeChico then immediately said, but really all we're looking for is information about Anna Walsh. And once again, you talked about communications.
They
correct?
lied.
Yes.
So even if in the context of we want to download...
They lied and deceived Brian, and they obtained the information under false pretenses. There you go. There's your TLDR.
...the entire contents of your phone, in the same context of that statement, it was made, we're looking for communications, correct?
Yes.
And we're looking for communications and Anna's tone, correct?
Yes.
He's answering in the affirmative to everything. The defense attorney is asking. No qualifiers. Wow. Wow.
Now,
this is atrocious.
was there some explanation to Mr. Walsh at this point in the January 5th interview, where Trooper DeChico starts telling Mr. Walsh something about your concerns, I think we need a search warrant for that information to be used against you. Do you remember that?
I do.
Now, can you tell the court why that was made at that time when Mr. Walsh was informing both you and Trooper DeChico that he had concern about having you download all this information?
Objection, please.
Sustained.
Yeah, it's asking for a mindset. I looked at that was the fastest sustained I think I've ever heard in my life, by the way. It was going into the mindset of Trooper DeChico, which he cannot answer for.
Were you trying to convince Mr. Walsh that whatever you found on the phone would not be used against him?
Ooh, it's a good question.
No.
Then what was the purpose of telling him that you would need to have a search warrant?
Objection.
Sustained. He didn't say it. The other guy did.
Yeah.
He didn't say it.
Oh, so that's why you're not calling Trooper DeChico? Because you know that he's gonna get buried? Because he's the one who asked that question? You don't intend on calling Trooper DeChico? Oh my god. Wow. Unbelievable.
Witness didn't say it. How can he know what the other witness's intention was? Right?
Oh my god.
He didn't say it.
He's hearing it just like everybody else.
This is
unless I've got the facts wrong. He's not the speaker. You have to ask the speaker
This is so bad for the
what his
government.
intention was.
It makes him look horrible.
I understand.
That's why I'm sustaining the objection. Next question.
Let me ask you this. Do you know
The
why
defense lawyer should have
Trooper
subpoenaed
DeChico at that moment in time made that comment about search warrants?
No.
Did you ever ask
No.
Trooper DeChico about that?
I did not.
Oh my god.
Was it confusing to you?
No.
But you don't know why he asked it?
Correct.
Wow. I'm sorry. This is the kind of stuff that makes a criminal defense lawyer weep, you guys. This is the kind of stuff that makes a criminal defense lawyer weep. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. How could you possibly do this as a law enforcement agent to actively deceive a suspect that you are not going to search their entire phone? We're just looking for this, and don't worry about anything else. We're not going to search for it. That's all we're going to look for. Basically saying that without saying it, and then they hand over the phone like, okay, I'm worried there's a lot of stuff on there I don't want you to see, like my incriminating searches, which is what he didn't say. And then they found them, and now they're using it against him. I'm sorry. This seems to me like a Fourth Amendment violation, folks. Plain and simple. You cannot obtain information under false pretenses. You're a law enforcement agency. You're supposed to be the good guys. Why are you acting like demons? Again, right? Again. That's all we're seeing, folks. This country is going to hell in a handbasket, and law enforcement is helping achieve that goal. It is atrocious. Cops are supposed to be here to protect and to serve, not to harass and collect. And that's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. They're harassing us. They are violating our First Amendment rights, our Second Amendment rights. They're violating our Fourth Amendment rights and our Fifth Amendment rights. In this one, they're also violating potentially his Sixth Amendment right to have an attorney. I mean, unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. They collect speeding ticket fines from us. They arrest wrongfully. They arrest people for DUIs. You know how many innocent clients I currently represent on my roster? You don't want to know, folks. You do not want to know how many innocent clients I currently have. It is disgusting what they're doing to people because they know they have to pay for a lawyer, they have to hire a lawyer. Now we have to go in and defend them. And if they don't hire a lawyer, what are they going to do? They're going to plead guilty and they're going to get wrongful pleas. They don't care. You're just a number to them. And by that, I mean money bags. What is going on to this country? I am so sad. Here's another example. Oh my God. I bet he's having
Mr.
a
Walsh
field day.
did tell you that he used his phone for work, didn't he?
Yes.
And he did tell you words to the effect of he was concerned about how long you might have to have his phone, correct?
Yes.
And then he was informed that, they have a mobile unit, maybe they can come out to your house, correct?
Yes.
And his response to that was great, wasn't it?
Correct.
So it's fair to say that Mr. Walsh was told that since he had concerns about how long they might have his phone, they could actually come out to his house and conduct extraction at his home with a mobile unit, correct?
Correct.
And do you know, Sergeant Schmidt, if in fact they brought a mobile unit out to Mr. Walsh's home on January 6th?
I don't think he
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah. We would have heard of that by now.
And then Mr. Walsh tells both you and Trooper DeChico that his only request is to talk to Tracy, his attorney, and to let her know and to give her his risk exposure, right?
Correct.
And remember, more than likely, because I've been in this situation before when clients confess to me about what they have done, and I advise them what to do and what not to do. This is part of a criminal defense attorney's job. We know stuff, very, very, very sensitive stuff, and we keep all of that confidential. We never reveal that information to anyone. And this is one of those cases, folks, where I can tell you, more than likely, he told Tracy Minor stuff that she needed to know about things that he has done. And Tracy was in a very good position to advise him on what to do and what not to do. That's why he wanted to consult with her. And these people, the law enforcement agencies, Cohasset PD, Canton PD, MSP, Massachusetts State Police, they all tried to, kind of go around this whole thing. It's disgusting. It doesn't matter how guilty you are. Rules must be followed. We have the Constitution for a reason. We have rights for a reason. The Bill of Rights exists for a reason. What's the point of having it if you're just going to be doing whatever it is you want to do anyway? That would be reason to suppress evidence. Wow.
So it's fair to say that based on what you were hearing Mr. Walsh say, it was clear to you, wasn't it, Sergeant Schmidt, that he was not going to agree to turn over his phone or have it reviewed unless and until he talked to Tracy Minor.
I'll let him have that one.
Yeah, why not? What's the problem?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
You objected because you don't like
so
the
I have a
question?
Oh, God.
It's crumbling.
It was clear to you, wasn't it, based on the responses that Mr. Walsh was giving to both you and Trooper DeChico, that he was not going to agree to either turn over his phone or to have you look at the communications without first talking to his attorney, Tracy Minor.
Yes.
Wow. Oh my God. Did you give him this opportunity?
At this point in the January 5th interview, is it fair to say that you, Sergeant Schmidt, you begin to interject and say, just so you're aware, if any peace of mind, we don't have a crime.
Yes, I did say that.
And we're not investigating a crime. This is a missing person.
Correct.
Can you tell the court why you, Sergeant Schmidt, made those statements at that time to Mr. Walsh?
It was the truth.
Right. It was. But then why on God's green earth did you obtain and search for information outside the scope of what you were permitted to do? Why did you obtain the incriminating information under false pretenses, man? All you had to do was get a signed consent form. And if you refuse to sign it, get a search warrant and get the stuff anyway. You're a law enforcement agency. You have subpoena powers. You can go to a judge and say, Your Honor, we have reason to believe that Brian Walsh has committed an offense and, helped in the disappearance of Ms. Anna Walsh, and we would like to search his devices. We need a search warrant. It would take you 5 minutes. That's deception. That's deception by the people that are supposed to protect us. If you need any reason never to talk to these people ever, you just found it. You just found it. If this is the first time you're hearing the words, don't talk to the police, you just found your reason. Right here. Deception. Lies. And for what? Why? Completely botch this investigation for no reason. For no reason.
And what was the significance to you of making those statements?
He wasn't the subject of an investigation. We were there as a community caretaking function to assist in finding a missing person.
I don't buy it. You're lying.
So, once again, Sergeant Smith, let me ask you this. Was that statement that you made to Mr. Walsh at that time, was that an effort to reassure him that what you found, if you found anything on the phone, that it couldn't be used against him without a search warrant? Was that you suggesting that to Mr. Walsh?
Yes. Yes, it is.
No, I wasn't thinking like that during that conversation.
Liar.
Were you trying to reassure him that whatever you found on the phone, you, Sergeant Schmidt, would not intend to use it against him?
I was trying to tell him exactly why we were there.
What the hell? This guy, I'm telling you, I'm getting the holier than thou vibes. Like, look, man, We found incriminating evidence. What do you want from me? We're just going to use it. That's not how it works. You got to follow the rules, bud. This is horrible. Horrible. Atrocious. I can't stress this enough, how insane this is.
Now,
you can't go outside the bounds of the law, become lawless, and say, well, we did justice.
so at this point,
We got the criminal.
after it became clear that Mr. Walsh was asking to talk to his attorney, Tracy Minor, before he made any agreements regarding his phone, then the subject matter of the inquiry on January 5th changed, didn't it? You started asking other questions about relative to your investigation. Correct?
Yes.
They were deceiving Brian. No matter how you
It's
look
fair
at
to
it.
say that
No matter
during
how incriminating all the searches are, citizens have rights. Remember, even in the movie A Few Good Men, Colonel Jessup, when he says, "Did you order the code red?" "You goddamn right I did!" The prosecutor immediately stood up and said, "Colonel Jessup, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you." He's like, "I'm being charged with a crime? I'm being charged with a crime? Listen, son." Like, "all you did was weaken a nation today, Caffey! You effed with the wrong Marine!" Folks, this is not how you protect the integrity of an investigation, okay? This is not how you do it. I can't wait for the conclusion of this, folks. This is a good place to stop as any. I cannot wait to hear how the prosecutor is going to try and rehabilitate his poor, destroyed, defunct, deceptive witness on cross-examination. On redirect examination after his destruction on cross-examination. I mean, this is ridiculous, folks. This is absolutely ridiculous. Trampling on our rights like that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that we have all this evidence, and yes, Brian probably did it. We talked about all of that. Rules must be followed. Otherwise, we become a lawless society, and the Constitution becomes nothing but a piece of paper you can just set on fire and say, Godspeed, good luck. That's not how it works. Our founding fathers are turning over in their graves as we're watching this testimony by Sergeant Schmidt. So folks, I hope you learned something. As always, I love every single one of you, and I will see you all for the conclusion of Brian Walsh. Bye, everybody.